Flanders is not an island. Flanders too experiences the effects of global developments or megatrends. These are long-term change processes that have a far-reaching impact on our society and the environment. They are complex and unpredictable and can therefore hardly be influenced. But are their effects also out of reach? The Flemish Environment Agency commissioned a number of experts to study 6 megatrends that are important to the environment in Flanders. They examined how these megatrends come about, how they manifest themselves in Flanders, and how they impact the environment through large societal systems. They also reflected on how policy could deal with them. The Earth's human population is growing and is projected to reach 9.6 billion in 2050. The population is also rapidly aging. A growing number of people are migrating from poor to rich regions, from rural to urban areas. In Flanders, the population keeps growing as well, mainly through immigration. Flanders is becoming increasingly urbanized, its soil sealed and fragmented. Lifestyles are changing. All these demographic changes are increasing the pressure on the environment. Technology is changing at the speed of light. The impact of various supporting technologies on society and the environment is far-reaching, but increasingly more difficult to predict. In Flanders too, these technologies are rapidly growing in importance. Flanders is one of the front runners in broadband applications and mobile telecommunication. Innovation can make Flemish production more competitive. Nanotechnology engineers are developing new materials for water treatment and green energy. Flanders is also strong in research on genetically modified organisms. It is as yet uncertain whether Flanders will be able to valorize our potential in this controversial research area. Innovation can have both positive and negative effects on the environment. ICT, for example, not only consumes much energy, but can also make processes more efficient. Our raw materials and natural resources are declining. Moreover, we are creating additional pressure on water, biodiversity and land. Flanders also has to deal with this scarcity. We must therefore make smarter use of raw materials. Local production and consumption chains are on the rise. In the circular economy, materials are reused. Although we're consuming more consciously, price fluctuations in fossil raw materials mean that investments in sustainability are uncertain in the short term. Diversity and contrasts are increasing in society. Emerging countries are becoming increasingly important both economically and politically. Multinationals and social networks are gaining in influence at the expense of public authorities. Regions and cities are becoming more assertive and join forces. Flanders is also becoming more diverse. The gap between poor and rich is widening. The middle class is under pressure and more cultures are living side by side. Social cohesion is weakening. Globalization also impacts Flanders, see the financial economic crisis. As a reaction, people revert to local needs and markets. Some people consciously start to live more sustainably or engage with alternative forms of living together. Public authorities with their fragmented administrative structure are increasingly losing their grip on major complex policy challenges. At the same time, successful local initiatives and free partnerships are emerging. NGOs and businesses, for example, are working together to address environmental problems. It's difficult to predict what the ultimate impact of multipolarity on the environment will be. Higher concentrations of CO2 and other greenhouse gases cause our climate to change. The Earth is warming, snow and ice caps are melting and the sea level is rising. Extreme weather conditions are becoming more frequent. Seasons and climate zones are shifting. Climate change will have huge impacts on society, both in ecological as in social, economic and political terms. Flanders is also warming up. Cities are turning into heat islands. The sea level may rise 60 to 90 centimeters by 2100. In summer, the risk of drought is increasing. In winter, there is a much higher risk of flooding. Some areas are no longer fit for residential use. The shift in seasons leads to disruption of ecosystems. Societal and ecological systems are unable to keep pace with the speed and complexity of the other megatrends. Unpredictability is increasing, as is the risk of disruptions and conflicts. The economic system is reaching its limits, as is the case for Flanders. Natural resource systems and ecosystems are under pressure. Major infrastructures such as the energy grid and the road network are weakening. Policy is fragmented and Europe's international negotiation position is weakening. The impact of vulnerable systems on the environment in Flanders is difficult to predict. In the short term, this could lead to more disruptions and conflicts. In the longer term, however, society could become more creative by means of new and structurally improved systems. Megatrends impact the environment in Flanders. 4 societal systems play a key role in this process: spatial planning, mobility, energy, and production and consumption. In Flanders, we barely have any impact on the global megatrends, but we can make the organization of our systems more future-proof. Space is a scarce commodity in Flanders. The available space should therefore be used more efficiently and more sustainably. This is possible by reverting to multifunctional land use, using the underground space and building high-rise clusters. Just as important is the collaboration between public authorities and all stakeholders to shape this new spatial planning. Flanders is a logistic transit region with intensive commuter traffic. Our mobility system needs to be much more sustainable. Carpooling, co-mobility and road charging can be used to address part of the mobility issue. We can reduce the environmental pressure and congestion by investing in better and more environmentally friendly public transport. Our energy system needs to become more sustainable and more flexible. Energy use must go down, and we need to intensify our use of renewable energy. A future with more green energy requires smart energy grids. They'll help to better balance supply and demand. Flanders also needs to invest in energy storage technology. We can change our production and consumption system through technological developments that limit its environmental impact. In addition, the circular economy needs to grow with more environmentally friendly products, new business models, and alternative forms of consumption such as carpooling, co-housing, or online newspapers. Measures are needed to make the societal systems in Flanders more sustainable, more resilient, and more future-proof. The report on Megatrends by the Flemish Environment Agency brings together a number of concrete measures to bring about a structural change. They can be used by the public authorities to help society bring about the transition. This will allow Flanders to adequately deal with the effects of megatrends.